for watching.
Double up.
Champion!
Top of the week to you, sir.
Oh, we are ready for this, man.
Let's do it, man. STAKK Nation, Crypto Warriors. Welcome back to the channel, man. It's a beautiful Monday, is what I'll say, you know. I mean, I have a lot of things to say today, but, you know, let's get into it. Yes, sir. Let's see, man. Let's check out the chat. Make sure everything is copacetic before we get it going, you know. Let's refresh here. How you feeling, brother? Talk to the people, man.
BK Crypto said no bankruptcy for Coinbase. Heck yeah, with BlackRock coming in the game, sure, they covered now.
Listen, man, I tried it. Okay, I tried it. I had to, you know. But yeah, hey, BlackRock is definitely there with Coinbase now, so you know it's game over, man. Coinbase.
They got the foundation and the rock now.
Yeah, man, they got the wins in their sails now. Ain't no stopping. BK Crypto, good morning, brother. We're in the building, yes, sir. Double O. Interesting times, man. Let's get this thing going. Listen,
let's rock.
Obviously, we're massively Bitcoin. And one of the reasons why we're in Bitcoin, or one of the main reasons we're in Bitcoin, is because the use case, the issue is trying to solve is to fix money itself, right? Mm-hmm. Reduce the debasement of currency from a few, you know, Federal Reserve and things like that. However, as we arise this morning, you know, I think actually one of the things is fixing money, right? So kind of getting away from the Federal Reserve, and of course, it happens that Bitcoin mining is also good for the environment. It's helping the environment. So we'll be talking a little bit about that, and we'll be talking a bit about what is happening in the Senate this week, right? So let's jump right into the situation here. We have this article here. The Senate Democrats passed a $740 billion tax, climate, and healthcare bill. $740 billion. As part of this bill, right, we have the Inflation Reduction Act, right, which is far less ambitious than most Democrats wanted. Far less ambitious. But part of this essentially is printing more money. The initial bill was roughly 3.5 trillion and also addressed paid family leave, funding for universal preschool, and expanding child tax credit. We have then of course there's a narrow version as well. Then there is of course in there the health part, which is for older people, and kind of putting some caps on their medical expenses. We have $370 billion for climate change in this bill, and I know another $300 billion is going to deficits, national deficits, which, if I'm correct, that is, you know, essentially taking back the money. That money goes back into the government. So this bill also allows the federal health secretary to negotiate the prices of certain expensive drugs for Medicare. I already spoke a little bit about that. And then a 15% minimum tax on corporations, which should raise about $1 billion of income, they say.
No. It's for any corporation making $1 billion minimum.
Oh,
in income.
I'm sorry. $1 billion minimum. I think that is where the what is it called? The carry interest. Yeah, comes in. Which it seems to me like that is also a loophole in the situation. Right. Interesting situation. Take it away, sir. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah. So anybody in the space right now, especially if you've understood Bitcoin and you understand what's going on in the space, you slowly start to understand that the government create problems that they turn around and say that they are fixing, whereas the tax or the pain is transferred to us, the citizens. So I wanted to share something real quick at the stream. So the first thing I want to share real quick is, number one, Bitcoin. Why are we all in Bitcoin? Some people are in it to make money. Of course, there's a lot of money to be made if you're trading. The charts flow really well. You can go in and out all day and make a ton of money. But the biggest problem that we're fixing here is money. right? Money in circulation. As we can see, here's a chart that shows the money growth over time. And as you can see, it's been spiking up a lot lately. You know, folks are like, oh, back in the 60s and 70s, I could graduate high school and be able to afford a house and buy a car. Well, this is what the overprinting of money is doing now. People can't even afford to buy a car, talk less of buying a house. So that's that one chart right there of what we're trying to fix with Bitcoin. So this new energy bill, as you can see, is going to have this little chart popping up a little bit more. $740 billion is a lot of money to print. And that's going to have the money in circulations go up. So we're like, you know what? Let's go ahead and see what this money circulation has been doing to Bitcoin lately. So I'm just going to quickly zoom into the past 2 or 3 years. Money in circulation is growing up. Bitcoin is doing its thing. You know, what is the current price of Bitcoin? We are currently at a major resistant area right here. If you look at those yellow dots, that's the previous resistance. That is where we're kind of stuck at this 24K. If we're able to break out of 24K, I believe that we should be seeing 29K in Bitcoin pretty soon. But again, we have the macroeconomics going on with what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, the old drama going on with China and Taiwan. So there's going to be a lot of fight before we can see that 29K. But that 29K, as you can see in this chart here, are previous resistance points. Now, before we go deep into this whole bill that just got out, I just thought I should share this because we have some interesting days coming up next week, especially. We're going to be hearing if the Feds are going to be increasing interest rates again. And we already know from past knowledge, increasing interest rate does not really tell us what's going to happen to Bitcoin. It could flip the opposite direction and go up, or it could go down. But we do know that it's had some impact. There might be another rumor, Europe is blocking Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. So as I look at this $750 billion bill that just got passed, I'm trying to figure out, is there anything hidden inside? Because these bills always hide stuff inside. They always hide stuff inside these bills, right?
This is true.
So I'm trying to see, is there any hidden attack against Bitcoin or the crypto space? So that's kind of where I'm now looking into the bill and searching all over the internet to figure out, okay, what's going on in there and what's going on out there. So I've highlighted a few things in this article that we can talk about in terms of, does this impact Bitcoin? Does this impact the crypto space? Or is this just general government fixing problems that they themselves have created?
Absolutely.
Do you want me to go ahead and jump into it right now, or you got some stuff to add to it?
I think definitely. It's like you said, there's a few things that are correct there. Well, everything is, I agree with what you're saying there, but there's a few things I want to highlight. With the government essentially creating solutions to problems that they created in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think we're here at this point in time with corporations paying very little taxes because they just choose to not pay it, right? These are things that are set up in the first place to avoid the taxes. One of the interesting things that was brought up in this article was that, of course, they're raising corporate taxes to it will be about 15% minimum. But at the same time, they have this thing called the, let's see, what is it called? It's called carried interest, right? And this is essentially a loophole that is currently in the corporate tax, structure. And they will be leaving this in there, right? So as a result, you'll still be able to have corporations taking advantage of the loophole as it is. So I'm just going to share with everyone what it is, what this, I guess, carried interest situation is. So let's see, where do I have it, man? I'm forgetting. I lost where it was. Well, let's go to the definition first, and I'll come back to that. So we know that this carried interest is a situation where you have a share of profits from private equity, right, or hedge fund or something like that. And the whole idea behind is that carried interest is typically paid if a fund achieves a specified minimum return, right? So they get to specify the minimum return, and if they achieve it, then they get to pay 20%. But at the same time, you could always not achieve that. You know how it goes in business, right? You can deduct things and everything else like that. So it seems like we're really evading that tax. So very interesting. Let's look at some comments, and then I'd like for you to carry on with what you had going on there, because that was really good. And I have some charts to share at the end as well. Good. We have BK Crypto. Let's see. No bankruptcy for Coinbase. I already read that one. Hey, gentlemen of crypto in the house. Good morning, brothers. Hope you guys are doing well.
It's been a while.
Bigger Crypto says, I told you so. They aren't going to listen, man. Bigger Crypto was right.
Yeah,
for sure.
you were right.
You know what I mean? OG, he saw that one coming. Absolutely, man. Peace. Good morning, gentlemen. Happy Monday to you too, sir. Satoshi Gang, printing more money to stop inflation. Ain't that the truth?
But you know what though? If you follow Chicago economics, that's the only way you can fix inflation. You actually have to print money to fix the problem. But then that creates more problems. So that's like standard. I used to actually believe
thing
that.
About it, we are at a point where they're printing money and they're raising interest rates at the same time.
Yeah.
It does not seem like these two should be going together. And at the same time, of course, we have all of these disasters going on across the world. Famine is a thing. Like, famine is really a real possibility at this point because the amount of food processing plants that suddenly got destroyed and things like that, it's strange. It's strange. And I'm really wondering what things will look like soon. Go ahead.
The Federal Reserve was screaming about quantitative tightening at the beginning of all this. Has anybody heard about quantitative tightening lately? They've actually started back to quantitative easing. So it's like, you guys can't really fix the problem. It's just a lot of noise.
Exactly. It is a lot of noise. Peace and love to everyone this morning. That is Captain G32. Absolutely. We have Ghetto Crypto. Top of it, good people. Yes, sir. Good morning to you too. You guys trading BTC futures? That's
we don't trade BTC.
Are you trading BTC futures, sir?
Dude, I learned from October of last year to just stay away from trading Bitcoin. I don't trade Bitcoin. I trade other crypto coins just to raise money and make money, but that's about it, man. Bitcoin is to buy and hold for us.
Yeah, when it comes to the Bitcoin, man, I'm just buying it and moving off the exchanges.
Yeah. Well, I know folks that are making money, man. This thing is like, man, the charts are too good. It's to one point.
Absolutely. Well, I'll let you carry on, sir.
All right, so back to my screen sharing situation here. So I'm not sure if you guys can see this. It's pretty small on the screen. So looking into this $740 billion, almost $1 trillion, because I think they were going for almost $3 trillion initially, and they've cut it down to almost $1 billion, $740 billion. So again, as always, I always preach to people to follow the money. Where is this money going, right? So for those of us that are invested in Tesla and, maybe Ford might be able to give Tesla a competition. GM, we know that's not going to happen for sure. Volkswagen is coming in. But hey, let's quickly take a look at that. Support fledgling technologies such as direct air capture and hydrogen production. I think that this is a great opportunity for Bitcoin miners because there's a lot of mining companies that are doing exactly this, capturing wasted energy to mine Bitcoin. So maybe they could be able to get some government money from this. As a matter of fact, folks don't even talk about this. Bitcoin is actually actually came from government research. These are all a bunch of, researchers that came up with the blockchain, and eventually Satoshi converted it into Bitcoin. People don't know that, but Bitcoin really is government research money. So if the government is giving people money for energy capturing, maybe Bitcoin miners can make money off of this as well. What do you think?
Energy capturing. Well, when it comes to energy and tax credits for using renewable energy and things like that, I think that the strategy seems a bit off to me. One of the reasons is that it seems it's impossible to even achieve this because the ultimate goal here is to reach zero carbon emissions at some point.
It's not possible.
Correct. Right. I don't think that is by 2030. By the way. I don't think that is going to be possible, right? And if we now here's one of the reasons why I'm saying that, because for one, and I guess before I roll into this, I'm just going to take a jab at Tesla fanatics, okay?
Hey, come on, man! You're taking the jab at me now. Okay, hey, bring it. Man, I got it.
It's cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? I have to take a jab even at you sometimes, man. What is life? We just no jabbing anyone. If you buy a Tesla, right, and you are charging it at your house or whatever the case, the electricity you're using to charge up your Tesla still comes from burning fossil fuels. So in essence, it's a roundabout way to the same place, if you will. Because for one, we know that vehicles are not really the biggest, the biggest, well, I don't want to say the biggest pollutant. They contribute, they do what they do, but greenhouse gases come mostly from other sectors. So my concern, or what I'm wondering, is that why is it that we are not, or why is that our governments are not focusing more on developing or funding projects that will actually lead to real change, right? Nuclear energy
Government
is one
never
of those
fixed the
things,
real problem.
right? So nuclear energy is one of those things. And so because if we look at the charts right now, we can see electricity generation from fossil fuels right now, right? The biggest countries that are still generating electricity from fossil fuels are the ones that are pushing for, this carbon neutrality by 2030, right? We have the United States, of China, India, Russia, right? It just does not seem to match up, because when you look at this, you will see that energy consumption is actually picking up even worse than before, especially with the whole situation in Russia now, right? This chart here is showing us electricity consumption from fossil fuels. Same thing, right? We actually have countries that are not leading, which Norway, by the way, 100% nuclear power. And I wonder because when you talk about nuclear power, right, there seems to be a fear in people's hearts about it. I get it. I understand where that could come from. But I think that that's something that we could look at in a different way. Because if we see here, we see that we're nowhere near being able to get towards this zero carbon by 2030. So I'm wondering, what is the purpose of all of this bills they're passing that is not really taking us in the right direction?
Dude, you gotta print more money to fix the problem. Problem is that in the process of printing more money, you're gonna create more inflation in the process. It's just standard. Like, you can't help it. We've caused so much problems with the money printing in the wrong direction that we gotta spend money, a lot of money, to try to get back in the right direction.
This is true. I mean, I guess there's no way around it, but I think it's about striking a middle ground. There has to be a mixture of everything.
I think so. I think oil is not going anywhere.
It's not.
Bitcoin is not going anywhere.
Right.
But we just gotta find the most efficient way to mine Bitcoin.
Right. When you look at how much they're pushing everyone to go to electric cars, right, it does not seem like it's something that is reasonable. It seems almost like it's something that would just lead us down more taxation and more fines for whatever the case might be. So this one here is just essentially this is a breakdown of greenhouse gas emission. Remember, greenhouse gases is the main thing that we need to reduce here. And we have the energy used in the industrial sector, right, whether it's manufacturing and things like that. That's 24% of our current energy usage. Transportation is 16%. Right. By the way, these charts we're looking at are on our worlddata.org. Great source. I think if you want to check out more of this, you should totally hop on there. Amazing information on there. Right. Building is 17%, and then of course unallocated 7.8%. So
most of those buildings are the big banks printing fiat.
Right. Exactly. So it would seem to me, that if we want to make a dent in carbon emissions, we should probably go nuclear with something like manufacturing, right, industries, versus really stepping on the necks of the everyday person who is probably not consuming as much.
Well, the funny part of this though is that I'm looking, trying to find everything in the bill just to make sure that they're not coming after Bitcoin or the crypto space. Well, so far so good. I haven't seen anything like that. They're standing on the neck of people driving cars and solar roofs, but the real problem, as we can see here, everybody needs to know, is transportation, big fat buildings built by the big banks, and energy usage by those guys producing plastic and all that good stuff. So we're not fixing any problem here. The $740 billion is just a little nib at the bigger problem.
Let's look at some comments and see what's going on here. Let's see. BTC futures? No. Hey, Gary is laughing at you, man. He's like, hey, he made 1K last week.
Hey, good for you. I'm happy for you, man. Sure, I got my butt whooped. I got my butt whooped, so I'm staying out.
So we have Debnam L. He says, questions. What are the best crypto wallets? Me personally, I don't want to have crypto on Binance or Coinbase. There is a cold card. You can do a cold card, which you can move your coins to that. There is, Ledger?
Yeah, Ledger.
Which if you're seeing this right now, man, you should pay us and the gentlemen of crypto. Because we're sponsoring you.
We're promoting you guys every day.
Right? Exactly. Solar panels is the future answer for all the fodders. Yeah, I mean, solar panel is good, but what happens when you're in the winter and there's no sun? I think it has to be a combination, right? They might start using uranium as a fuel source. Yeah, that is uranium is used for nuclear energy, right? So that is
But
absolutely.
nobody talks about Congo, where everything comes from, and the kids are the one suffering
That is
for
the
it.
other thing, man. Mad slavery over there, bro.
Yeah,
You know, kids digging out uranium. Which is this is also something about them electric cars, man.
yeah,
You know, all of that
yeah. It
uranium,
all
and then of
adds up.
course there is lithium fields now, which are being put around, and that is definitely damaging to the environment. But you know, wealth risings to you too, Kufu Crypto, amazing. Malik Howard says, "Morning, fellas. Good morning." There we go. Here we are, man. 9:20. I wish we had more time, man. Can we get
I
more
got
time
some
on this
juice
show?
though. Can I squeeze
Yeah.
in a few things real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Squeeze it before we go, man.
All right. So before we
I
go,
want to
I
respect
just
the
want to
time.
share some little hints. As usual, we're always trying to fix problems that it's not really the problem.
Right.
The Democrats are saying our bill, our bill. Is it the people's bill or is it the big corporations' bill that they pushed out, that they printed out? Our bill reduces inflation. We all know that that's not going to reduce inflation. That has nothing to reduce inflation. As a matter of fact, the taxes that you're taxing the corporations will get transferred to us customers, and the customers are going to be the one paying for it. That's been the process. That's been the way that was gone. It's going to lower costs. As you can see, the price for electric cars are going up. I'm not sure if you're seeing what it costs to get a solar roof. Once the demand goes up, which we already don't have the infrastructure to get enough people out there installing solar roofs, the price is going to go up. It doesn't go down. The cost hasn't gone down. I don't see the price going down. Maybe the price will go down when gas and oil and it gets transferred to solar panel, but the reality is that it transfers. The bill, the demand transfers to another situation. It doesn't
Right.
fix the entire thing. It creates millions of good paying jobs. I like that comment. But guess what? The feds are out here saying that they want to kill jobs, whereas the Democrats are here saying that they want to create jobs. Hey guys, let us know what's going on, man. Who's killing what? Because the feds are trying to destroy the economy. The Democrats are here trying to prep up the economy. So whoever the next president is, they better get ready for some crap going on in the economy. The boldest climate package change in U.S. history. This is nothing. This hasn't even fixed any problem. Bresson just showed you guys where the real problem is right there. Buildings, the energy infrastructure itself, and transportation. If we don't fix
Industry as
that,
well.
we're not fixing any problem. That's just what I just wanted to add real quick before we end today.
Okay. Well, on the other side of it, man, printing more money to fix inflation. This is why we buy Bitcoin, man. So,
Yeah.
because I don't think this is a solution. Inflation is going to keep rising. They're doing the same thing that got us to where we are right now. So, well, thank you to everyone for watching. It's absolutely incredible. Until next time, Brazen out.
Double O.